Hey, welcome back. Today we're diving into how law firms can rank better in Google's local map pack, which is that group of map based results that often appears when someone searches for something like personal injury lawyer near me, a divorce attorney in Austin, or estate planning lawyer nearby. Usually it has a localizer like a city or state name, or it'll say near me or nearby. That's typically how it activates the local map pack. So, for many firms, this is some of the most valuable visibility they can earn because the person searching isn't casually researching the law. They're often looking for a lawyer in a specific place right now. But ranking in the map pack isn't as simple as adding a few keywords to your Google business profile. It requires a combination of relevance, proximity, reputation, website strength, and consistency. So, let's break down what actually matters, what your firm can control, and what can get your profile suspended. Let's start with why the map pack deserves serious attention. Local legal searches usually carry strong intent. A person searching for a business attorney may still be exploring options, but someone searching for an emergency custody lawyer or a DUI attorney or a personal injury lawyer near them is often much closer to making contact. The map pack puts a short list of firms directly in front of that person, along with reviews, hours, location, phone access, directions, photos, and links to the firm's website. In other words, Google isn't just showing a ranking, it's creating a miniature decision page before the searcher ever visits your site. That means two things. First, being visible can generate calls and website visits from high-intent prospects. And second, merely appearing isn't enough. A firm with outdated hours, weak photos, a generic category, or a thin review profile can lose the click to a competitor sitting right beside it. This is also why your Google business profile and your website shouldn't be treated as separate marketing projects. The profile can win the initial visibility, while the website validates the choice. If your profile says you handle immigration matters, but the linked page barely mentions immigration, you've created a relevance gap. If the website lists a different phone number or office address, you've created a trust gap. Local search works best when the whole system tells the same clear story. Google publicly explains local rankings through three broad ideas: relevance, distance, and prominence. Relevance is how closely your firm matches the search. Distance is how close the firm is to the searcher or the location named in the query. And prominence is how established and credible the business appears using signals such as reviews, links, citations, and broader visibility. That framework matters because law firms often focus almost entirely on prominence. They want more reviews and more links, and those are valuable, but they ignore the searcher's location or they choose a category that's too broad. Yet a highly authoritative firm may still struggle several miles away from its office because distance is a real part of the system. You can improve relevance and prominence, but you can't create genuine proximity through a virtual office or a mailbox. In fact, trying to do that can put the entire profile at risk. Consumer behavior is also becoming more demanding. BrightLocal's 2026 consumer review research reports that 97% of consumers read reviews for local businesses and 71% use Google to read local business reviews. Their research also found that 65% of consumers who rejected a business did so for a review-related reason, like a negative review, a low rating, or reviews that were missing or old. For law firms, those numbers need an important caveat. Reviews are powerful, but legal marketing also comes with confidentiality and ethics obligations. You should never reveal that someone was a client, describe their matter, or correct their version of events in a way that exposes protected information. The right goal is a steady, ethical review process and careful responses, not chasing review volume at any cost. Another trend is that local discovery is spreading beyond the traditional results page. AI systems, map products, review sites, directories, and social platforms all draw from overlapping information about businesses. That makes entity consistency even more important. Your firm's name, office, information, attorneys, practice areas, and reputation should be understandable across your profile, website, legal directories, bar listings, and credible local sources. Here's the process I would use if I were auditing a law firm's local visibility from scratch. Step one is to make sure the profile is eligible, verified, and accurate. Use the firm's real world business name, not a keyword loaded version of it. If the sign on the door says Smith Legal Group, the profile shouldn't say Smith Legal Group, best personal injury lawyers in Dallas. Google wants the name people actually encounter in the real world. The address must also represent a legitimate, eligible location. A virtual office, rented mailbox, or location where the firm has no real operational presence can create serious problems. If you have multiple offices, each profile should correspond to a real, staffed location that meets Google's guidelines. More profiles don't automatically create more legitimate reach. Step 2 is category selection. Choose the most specific primary category that accurately represents the firm's main local priority. A personal injury practice may be better served by personal injury attorney than the broader lawyer category. A family law firm may have a more specific option than a generic law office category. Then add relevant secondary categories, but only where they reflect services the firm genuinely provides. Categories should clarify the business, not become a list of every matter the firm has ever accepted. Step 3 is profile completeness. Confirm the phone number, website link, hours, holiday hours, appointment options, service descriptions, accessibility details, and other available fields. Write a clear business description for people, not a block of repeated city and practice area keywords. Add the services that matter and keep them aligned with the services described on your website. Step 4 is to connect the profile to the right landing page. A single location firm may link to a strong homepage or location page. A multi-location firm should usually have a useful page for each real office with its own address, phone information, attorneys, directions, local context, and the practice areas they serve at that location. Don't create dozens of thin city pages that say essentially the same thing. Build pages that help a prospective client understand why that office is relevant to their situation. Now, on those pages, make the basics unmistakable. Use a clear title and heading, state the practice and location naturally, show the firm's contact information and introduce the attorneys who actually serve that office, and answer the questions local prospects are likely to ask. Add structured data when appropriate, but remember that schema helps search engines understand accurate information. It doesn't make weak or fictional information more true. Step 5 is review development. Create a consistent process for asking eligible, satisfied clients for honest feedback. The best time is usually tied to a meaningful moment in the client experience, not a random year-end email blast. Make the request simple and provide a direct path to the review portal, such as the Google review screen. And remember to never offer incentives and don't ask for only 5-star reviews. A steady pattern of authentic reviews is healthier than a sudden burst followed by silence. When you respond, be warm but restrained. A response such as, thank you for taking the time to share this feedback, we appreciate your kind words, is usually safer than confirming the representation or discussing the result. Your jurisdiction's ethics rules and the facts of the situation should guide the final wording. Step 6 is to strengthen prominence beyond Google. Make sure the firm's core information is accurate on major legal directories, state and local bar resources where applicable, trusted business directories, and relevant local organizations. Pursue real local authority through sponsorships, community involvement, speaking engagements, scholarships that serve a legitimate purpose, local news coverage, and useful contributions to organizations in your market. Links and citations should be earned because the firm is actually connected to the legal and local community. Buying hundreds of low-quality directory listings usually creates noise, not trust. A link from a respected bar association, local publication, university, nonprofit, or business organization can carry much more meaning than a large bundle of unrelated links. Step 7 is profile activity and visual proof. Add accurate recent photos of the office exterior, lobby, team, attorneys, parking or accessibility details, and other elements that help people recognize and trust the location. Keep hours and services updated. Use posts when you have something useful to share, but don't mistake posting frequency for the core ranking strategy. A polished stream of updates won't rescue an ineligible address, a wrong category, or a weak website. Step 8 is competitive and spam monitoring. Legal search results can be heavily affected by keyword-stuffed business names, fake offices, and duplicate profiles. Document suspicious listings carefully and use Google's proper redressal or reporting channels when the evidence is clear. Don't edit competitor profiles maliciously and don't turn spam fighting into your only strategy. Removing one bad listing may help temporarily, but building a stronger local entity is what compounds over time. So let's talk about common mistakes to avoid. The first mistake is keyword stuffing the business name. It may appear to work for a while, which is why people keep doing it, but it violates Google's guidelines when those words aren't a part of the real business name. And a suspension can erase the visibility you are trying to gain and really set you back. The second mistake is creating profiles for virtual offices, mailboxes, or locations that aren't genuinely staffed and customer facing where required. This is especially tempting for firms that want to rank in several cities. But the safer strategy is to build authority around real offices and expand only when the business itself expands. The third mistake is treating reviews like a campaign you run once. 50 reviews in a week followed by a year of silence doesn't create the same confidence as an ongoing stream of genuine feedback. Reviews are part of the operations, intake, and client service, not just SEO. The fourth mistake is responding to reviews like you're arguing a case. Even if a review is unfair, the public response isn't the place to disclose details or prove the reviewer wrong. Protect confidentiality, stay professional, and move sensitive conversations offline when appropriate. The fifth mistake is optimizing the profile while neglecting the website. Google says prominence also includes information it knows about a business from across the web, and it notes that your position in web results really do matter. If the firm's location pages are thin, the practice area content's generic, the site is slow on mobile, or local contact information is inconsistent, the profile's carrying too much of the burden. And the sixth mistake is measuring one keyword from one desk. Local rankings change based on the searcher's location, device, query, and context. A firm can look number one at its office and be nearly invisible 5 miles away. One manual search is not a local SEO report. So let's talk about measuring success. To measure this all correctly, start with a baseline. Track visibility for the practice area searches that actually matter across the geographic area where your ideal clients are located. A map grid ranking tool can show how visibility changes from one neighborhood to another. That's much more useful than a single citywide ranking number. Then watch the business outcomes. In Google Business Profile Performance Reporting, monitor calls, website clicks, direction requests where relevant, and the search terms or interactions Google makes available. In your analytics and CRM, track which leads came from the profile, which practice area they needed, whether they were qualified, whether they scheduled, and whether they became clients. Your scorecard should include both leading and lagging indicators. Leading indicators include profile completeness, category accuracy, review recency, review response time, citation consistency, new local links, and visibility across your target map grid. Lagging indicators include qualified calls, consultations, signed cases, cost per retained case, and revenue attributed to local organic search. This matters because more profile activity isn't automatically better marketing. If calls rise but qualified consultations don't, the problem may be category alignment or messaging, service area expectations, or intake. If visibility improves but clicks don't, compare your reviews, photos, hours, and positioning with the firms appearing beside you. Ranking earns the opportunity. The profile and the intake process still have to convert it. So the key takeaway is this. Local firms rank better in the local map pack when they build a clear, consistent, and credible local presence around real offices and real client value. There isn't one magic field to fill out. Google's trying to understand whether your firm is relevant to the search, close enough to be useful, and prominent enough to trust. Start with the fundamentals. Verify that the profile follows the rules. Choose the right primary category, complete every meaningful field, connect it to a strong location experience on your website, build an ethical system for earning reviews, strengthen your local and legal authority, then measure visibility and retained cases across the actual market, not from one search at your office. If you want a practical next step, audit your profile this week against 5 questions. Is our name and location fully compliant? Is our primary category the best match for the cases we want? Does the linked page clearly support the category and location? Have we earned recent reviews without creating ethics or confidentiality problems? And can we connect map pack leads to consultations and signed clients? If you can't answer all 5, that's where I'd focus first. And if you'd like help connecting local SEO, your website, lead tracking, and intake into one measurable system, reach out to Thrive. That's exactly the kind of gap we help law firms close. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical law firm marketing insights covering SEO, AI search, paid media, intake, and conversion. And let me know in the comments, is your biggest local search challenge visibility, reviews, multiple offices, or figuring out whether the calls are actually turning into good cases. I'll see you in the next video.